I'm Emily Burke, the Science Curriculum Coordinator for grades 6 through 12. And I'm here tonight to voice my concerns in open forum about the recent actions of the school committee. I'm really concerned about the overreach of the committee, especially in regards to determining the wording of the program of studies and the determination of how many of sections of each class is to run at the high school. The responsibilities of school committee are to approve the budget and approve policy. The program of studies and accompanying schedules are neither policy nor budget items, although admittedly the courses we offer are constrained by the budget. The language of the program of studies is carefully and thoughtfully crafted by teachers. The number of courses which can be run is carefully and thoughtfully determined by administration, coordinators, and teachers. These decisions have always been left to the faculty and administration to determine. An example from a few years ago, the school committee voted to increase the amount of world language students receive in 6th grade. That was the mandate, increase the amount of world language in 6th grade. How that was done and how many sections were needed was up to faculty and administration working together to find a fit for all students while still maintaining a balance of other courses. In order to increase world languages at the middle school, we undertook a 2-year process to determine the best way to do this. At no point did the school committee mandate how many sections of each language needed to run. That was rightfully left up to the teachers and administration working together to determine what would be the best fit for all students. When I say we make decisions carefully and thoughtfully, I mean it. I live it. When I began as the science curriculum coordinator 7 years ago, I posed a question to my department. I said, are we best serving our students with the courses that we are offering? And the resounding answer was no. Why not? I asked. So after much discussion, we determined that we did not offer enough course options for non-AP students in the sciences. To rectify that situation, we developed a long list of courses that we would like to run if given unlimited resources, staffing, and space. In the end, we added forensic science, we brought back astronomy, we re-envisioned environmental science, and we tested different versions of physics too, more recently named physics of warfare. The same care and thought is put into determining our budget asks and staffing needs. I almost always ask, sorry, am I getting cut off here? All right, I almost always ask for more staff at the beginning of the budget process, as this begins prior to course selection. So it's a bit like pulling out a crystal ball and envisioning what's the future going to look like. Then once students select courses, the instructional leadership team meets and determines where the real needs are, and we make adjustments, ultimately determining what courses and how many sections of each course we can reasonably run, and realistically, how many students will actually have that course be able to fit into their schedule. We take into account that if 30 students want a course and only one section of it runs, there's a good chance that the one period that course is offered would mean that a student might have to decide between this course and another elective. We look at what those alternative courses the students said they would like to take are, and we make sure that we aren't restricting all of those alternatives. For example, this year I looked at how many AP chemistry sections could reasonably run and checked their alternative selections to see if students were also interested in AP physics too, as there was a little extra wiggle room in that section. When looking at forensic science, we looked at how many students might opt to take environmental science or anatomy and physiology. As I hope I'm impressing upon you, it's a giant puzzle and one that takes weeks and months to make run well. We begin this process in April in order to get a best fit schedule for almost every student by the end of June. As of last week's meeting, we found ourselves moving back to April. That's not fair for the students or the faculty who are trying to plan their courses for the upcoming school year, particularly during a pandemic where we're not sure what those courses are going to look like in the first place. Finally, speaking as the science coordinator, I ask you to reconsider your recent decision to add a 0.75 FTE to my department. The science department was reduced by less than that. So this represents an increase to the science department above and beyond staffing from last year. That means I would be hiring back my teacher who received a reduction in force and adding a 0.25 to a part-time teacher in my department. It also means that I'll be left to hire a 0.25 teacher, something that in the best of years is near miraculous. That's an additional 0.25 that I don't have a body for in the building. And I would argue we don't have a need for. And is it right and fair for me to be hiring excess teachers when other departments have been cut and are facing much more difficult decisions than the science department? So I'm saying this to you as somebody who loves science. I love my department, but I also understand the need for a whole child who needs equal exposure to languages, world language, ELA, fine arts, wellness courses, social studies. The instructional leadership team considers this every year, and I ask that you trust that we have made and will continue to make these decisions to best represent the needs of all of our students. Thank you.